started talking about genetics. And we're able to define genetics as and we saw the pioneers of genetics, and who are they? Okay. In which year that did Mendel? What of Janus? Thomas Morgan? What did Janus did? And Jane. And what does Thomas Morgan? Who is Thomas Morgan? An American genetics. Okay, what did they do? How did they carry out his own research? Even carried by and we're trying to look at the experiments of what Mendel did to actually show or to prove his research that characters or traits are being transmitted from parents to offspring, from generation to generation. And he did this with a lot of experiments. He carried out a lot of experiments in his actions. Even by yesterday, we were able to look at, we came across some things in terms of what the pioneers or the principle of genetics. What are the major principles of genetics that all these genetics looked at or carried out to prove what Mendel's or brings about genetics as a whole? What are the principal factors? One, that the diversity of the organism, okay? Okay, the driving force behind evolution, okay? And what else? All right, and what else? What else? What is the study of genetics? What did they say about sexual reproduction? It explains everything. Good. That's the only major things that we want to look at. And when we talk about transmission and the expression of characters in organism, we know that character is a distinct or functional unit or actions that have to do with living organisms. And when we say distinct or functional units or features that are being seen in living organisms, we can say that that character is also what we call traits. And this has to do with different things that are being seen in organisms' character, like color. We said the color of the leaves, the color of the eye, the color of the fruits, the color of the flowers. Yellow flower, red flower, yellow leaf, red fruits. These are what we call characters, and these are what we call traits that stand out as a distinct structures or functional features found in living organisms. And we said that character can as well be called traits. If you hear the word traits, it also refers in terms of character. This time around, we're not actually looking at character in terms of behavior, but in terms of traits or what to see being transmitted or inherited from parents or transmitted from parents to offspring. So that leads us to hereditary and variation. Hereditary and variation. Someone should spell it. Someone should spell this for me.
D-I-T-R-Y.
E-H-E-R R-E again?
Yes.
Okay.
D-I-T-Y.
Hereditary and variation. Let somebody remind me, what is hereditary? What is hereditary?
Transition of from parents to us to children.
Transmission of
Inherited character
from parents to
children.
through. Are you sure? Give me another definition of hereditary. Transmission of inherited characters from parents to offspring. What are variation? I don't want the word now, physiology or morphological. Just give me a brief definition of variation. I don't want the word observable now. Because there exists between individual organisms of the same species. These are the key words. Differences that exist between individuals of the same species. That's what brought about hereditary. Now, in terms of Mendel's law, we can equally say that gene, when it had to do with similarities and differences noticed amongst them, between parents and offspring. How then is this thing transmitted? How is it being carried out? So let's write down, so I cannot take us time. Hereditary transmission and expression of influences. Character is a distinct structure. Character is a distinct structure or functional feature. Distinct structure or functional feature of an organism. Full stop. Character are also called traits. Character. Are you left behind? I said character is a distinct, D-I-S-T-I-N-C-T, distinct structure or functional feature of an organism. Full stop. Characters are also called traits. T-R-A-I-T. Examples of character. The yellow color of alamander flower. Who knows alamander plants? The yellow color of alamander. Alamander as in A-L-A-M-A-N-A-D-A. Alamander. There is a tree there. You can see that tree there. That have one yellow flower there. The flower, the yellow flower of alamander plant. You can see the yellow flower there. Can you see that? People, I'm asking Adama, can you see it? Yes. It's just there. After you can go and look at it there. Example, we said the yellow color of alamander plant, alamander flower, comma, the scent of purple, alamander flower. Scent of purple, a sense of purple, and the ability to taste PTC. Who remembers what the full meaning of PTC? Who remembers the full meaning of PTC? Phenylcarbamate. What's the taste? What's the taste? Bitter. When some taste it to become tasteless. And that is one of the words. Variation. What kind of variation? What kind of variation? Physiological variation. Thank you. So we said, and that's a typical example. Can anybody say the color, the eye color, the color of the head, the shape and height of the body? These are typical example of traits or character. Okay, let's look at heredity. 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 H-E-R-E-D-I-T-Y. Heredity and variation. Heredity and variation. Heredity is the transmission of inherited characters. Heredity is the transmission of inherited characters from parents to offspring. Through gene. Through gene. Or via gene. V-I-A. Via or through gene. I repeat myself. I said heredity is the transmission of inherited character from parents to offspring through via or through gene. Anyone? Okay. It is responsible for the similarities. It is responsible for the similarities and as well as the small differences of variations. It is responsible for the similarities or small differences or variations between parents and offspring. Between parents and offspring. First of variation. Between parents and offspring. First of variation occurred. Variation occurred as a result. Variation occurred as a result of new combination. Variation occurred as a result of new combination. I should spell combination? Of new combination of genes. As a result of new combination of genes. Full stop. You know what I mean by new combination? We're all of the same species and you have, you bring your own gene, I bring my own gene, they combine together. At least there are certain things you see in me, you see in the offspring that came up or from her, but you see some differences. There are some you will not even see in either of us, but you will see it in the generation before us. Did I say something? No? Good. So we said those similarities or small differences that we notice is hereditary. But we find out that the variation that we notice, a small variation that occur, that's being noticed or seen in offspring. So that variation occurs as a result of combination that occurs via the gene. Did I say something now? Yes. Okay, full stop. If the variations makes the offspring more suitable to its environment, if the variation makes the offspring more suitable to its environment, then it stands a better chance. Then it stands a better chance of surviving then it stands a better chance of surviving and reproducing. Then it stands a better chance to surviving and reproducing, to pass on its gene to the next generation. To the next generation. Full stop. Let's look at environmental variation. Environmental variation. Just another subheading. We've been talking about it. When we talk about environmental variation, these are some differences we notice or acquired as a result of the environment, what we see. Let me give us an example. There are some characters. We know we have physiological, we have morphological variation. Now there are some characters, not that we inherited it, but because of what we notice within the environment. That is what we call environmental variation. For instance, we are from the same parent, isn't it? Because of what I see, I saw bicycle and started learning how to ride. And you cannot learn, you cannot ride. I can ride bicycle well. I can swim. That is an environmental influence. I learned it from the outside. That doesn't mean because I can swim, I can ride the bicycle. If I give birth to a child, the child can ride the bicycle. So that says something now. Yes. Now this is different amongst us now. It cannot be transmitted. That is an environment. These are things I acquired, I learned from the environment. That I can dance at times, throw my leg and move it as it were. Does not mean that my child, that when I give birth from a combination, that the child will not have to do that. Am I saying something now? Yes. So that is what we said, environmental. There are some things, probably in terms of things we see around the environment. You smoke. I cannot smoke. Your parents were not smoking. Because you saw Bartholomew smoking and you want to belong, you went to learn how to smoke and begin to smoke and things enter head. That doesn't mean that when you have a child, that's what we can call environmental influence. Am I saying something now? Environmental variation. Now coming to that, we're talking about heredity. This was in terms of gene. This has nothing to do with the gene. Because one environmental variation or what you get from the environment cannot be transmitted. Did I say something now? It cannot be transmitted to an offspring. You have to learn it. I know when you did under nervous system, there's this kind of reflexes we did. Under learned conditional reflex and non-conditional reflex. I hope you did it. Huh? Yes. You know, learned one, you learned it. And when you learn it, you can never forget it. Even if I want to, I woke up, I said, Faith, take the bicycle, quickly run to the junction and get me pepper. Because you need to. And she just woke up and cleaned her eyes. It doesn't need to start learning how to ride the bicycle. We'll just climb because I already learned it. Did I say something now? Yes. So most of those things, we call it environmental variation. You know this, she knows this, I don't know it. But it can't say because you know it, it can be transmitted. You learned it to the offspring or to your children. No, they have to learn it as well. So environmental variation cannot be inherited because it has actually nothing to do with the gene. But those ones that come as a result of combination of the gene, the gametes coming together, can be inherited. Did I say something now? Yes. Like the color, sonorous voice in terms of singing, can go for intelligence, can be transmitted. Am I saying something now? Yes. Okay, let's go. environmental variation. This is referred to differences that arises due to the environment. Full stop. The major differences between hereditary, I repeat myself, I said this is referred to differences that arises due to the environment. Full stop. And the major differences between hereditary and environmental variation. The major differences between hereditary and environmental differences, environmental variation, is that while hereditary variation are transmittable, while hereditary variations are transmitted from generation to others, I repeat myself, I said the major differences between hereditary and environmental variation is that while hereditary variation are transmitted from generation to others, environmental variations are temporary. Are temporary. And are not passed to the next generation. They are not passed to the next generation. First off, do you understand that? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's look at characters that can be transmitted. Characters that can be transmitted. How many of you have seen that question? List characters that can be transmitted in plants and characters that can be transmitted in animal. In GC and WAEC, only you. Who else have seen that question? Past questions. All right. Characters that can be transmitted. That's the second topic. Characters that can be transmitted. I hope you know we're referring to traits.
Yes.
Traits, not character as in behavior, or traits. Things that are being inherited from parents to offspring. I know. Characters that can be transmitted are those controlled by genes. Characters that can be transmitted are those controlled by genes. Characters that can be transmitted are those controlled by the genes. Full stops. So let's look at characters that can be transmitted in humans. Characters that can be transmitted in humans. And they are: 1, body stature. 2, body structure or body shape. Another one is color of skin. Color of skin, color of eye, color of hair, etc. Another one, characteristics of voice. How many of you at this stage, if you're talking and nobody is there, they'll think it's your mother that is talking or your father that is talking? Okay. That is characteristics of voice. It's common at times among boys. If you have taken that from your dad and your younger one might be there and you are just saying something, look, everything. Daddy is coming. And when is that from there? I thought this daddy that is coming. Or mommy is talking. So that is characteristics of voice that can be, at times might not be even with daddy or mommy. It might be your auntie's home. And just come and say, auntie, one paper has come home. And when they look, Taiwo is now talking like our auntie. So have characteristics of voice that can be inherited or what we call speech. So another one is intelligence. Intelligence. Another one is height. Then we have baldness. We have tongue rolling. We have come across these things before, isn't it? Yes. We have tongue rolling. We have sickle cell anemia. We have color blindness. What do you understand by color blindness? It's common among boys. They cannot differentiate between the color of blue and green. The major thing they can differentiate is white and black. It's too common among the men. So that's color blindness. Baldness. Huh? Baldness. Does that didn't have a bald head? It's okay, there's that they always scrape me. So if you have the tendency you having it is a you guys say no, no? It's fine. John, daddy has. No. Apostle Paul.
No.
She doesn't have. Where is it?
I don't see very graceful.
So color blindness and so on. Blood group. Ability to test ETC. Note, not all characters are inheritable. Not all characters are inheritable. But characters which are developed by an organism as a result of parent characteristics. I said not all characters are inheritable. But characters, not beauty, characters which are developed by an organism as a result of parents but as a result of parents' characters transmitted to the offspring through the gametes. Okay, so let's look at characters or transmittable characters in plants. Transmittable characters in plants. Transmittable characters in plants. That question I'm talking about, they ask them to list characters that are transmittable in animal and that of plants. Another year it was only plants. Another year it was only animal, depending. Characters that are transmittable in plants. One is the height of plants. Height of plants. Size of leaves. Another one. Size of leaves. Weight of fruit. Weight of fruit. How many of us have fully at that time to enter into Baptist Girls College? I'm not talking about those that are there. We have different species of mango. We have German mango, we have kerosene mango. You find out that you said all the mangoes there does not have the same size of fruit they produce. There is one not too far from the gates. The fruit, the mango fruit, is bigger than my hand. And there is another one, although the church has fenced it inside, near the hall. Very sweet mango. When you look at it, there's a way the shape is. As if it is, in human, we'll still talk about it. We'll have what we call albinism. You know what I mean by albinism? That's the albinos. I would say that mango has something to do, if there is anything like that. Very sweet. The cover of the back has that color, yellow, but most of the time you notice some little black patches on it. Not that it has spoiled. Virtually all of them are like that, but very sweet, the way it is. Now, when you enter inside the hostel, there's another species of mango there. Very sweet. If it is not fully ripe, if the whole body is not fully yellow, even the way the shape is, it has already ripened inside. There are different species of mango. There is this one too, on the other side. The fruit is small. You can, very sweet though, you can throw the whole thing inside the mouth and be chewing it. Now what am I not saying? When we say the weight of fruit, they are the same type of fruit, they have the same shape, their leaves are the same. No matter the mango, the leaves are the same. But the fruit size and the weights are not actually the same, depending. Am I saying something now? If you have also come across a guava fruit, there are some that are pure yellow, red. Then the yellow one might be big like this, pure yellow and sweet. There are some that are red. When you come to the mouth, side like this, it has a little bit, it takes a little bit sour. Down is sweet or red. There are some that are not fully red, they are not yellow, but they are pure green, but they are mature. So different fruit, they will say the weights of the fruit differ, but they might be the same species. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So you cannot see that German mango that have big fruits producing that small one. So the weight of the fruit determines the plant. And there are some mangoes these days. Remember we say height. I'm just using those ones because it's common. You see one chikuru mango, a little bit taller than me. But the fruits there, they are so wonderful. The same thing goes with palm tree. Some of them are small, but they see the palm fruits. We have such species, I don't know about now, also in Baptist Girls College. Why I'm saying this because the principal then was the one that planted most of good for. That's Mr. Bukola. You heard about him? The picture is in the principal's office. So what I said size of leaves, weight of fruit, taste of fruits. Taste of fruits. These are heritable. Okay? The food content of fruit. Food content of fruit. How many of us like taking pears? We have avocado pear. You know there's one like water. If you use it to eat bread, that boy you're hiding, nobody know. You won't know when you start mentioning his name. And then we will not say, there is one. It's brown or purple, some of them. And you have different sizes. There's one you can just open it, man. Like the one I took 2 days ago. Then you have another pear. Those ones that Igbos use in eating corn. It's small, and that one have different species and different tastes. I hope you understand what I'm saying. When we talk about the food content of fruits, they might be the same. Like that, let me go back to that mango as well, as an example. That big mango, have you ever seen? It's not too sweet though. The big mango, but the seed is small.
Is it like cherry?
It's not cherry. The seed is not as, the seed is when you compare the size of the mango fruit. It's in your school compound now. This man Abu at Junction sells it. By the time it will come up. How many of you know the mango I'm talking about? Have you seen it before?
The tree is in our house.
The one that have big mango.
Yes.
It's bigger than my hand when it's fully mature. The seed is not that big to compare with the size of the mango. That's what I'm talking about. Except because I'm the one I'm fully used to then is the one in BGC.
Oh, but there are mango trees. Sometimes it goes to big ones and the same. And the normal one that is cool.
Did you did grafting? You did grafting in SS2. You understand what I mean by grafting?
Yes.
We have stem grafting. We have which other grafting? Sorana. Number. Stem grafting. And spawn. The one you take apart. The one you cut completely. And take the food. Create it and put it inside. Hide it. You still don't understand that. So in that mango, you have 2 different types. That's nice. Find out whether you did stem grafting. You know what I mean by grafting? Or the parent plant where they brought it from. We'll still look at it. We'll still follow what Mendel did to see how those things came about. The following, the ones that they brought together. So this part might be growing to show normal mango fruit. This will grow to show normal big mango fruit. You know it's in your compound. Okay, maybe they did grafting to bring the two together. We have an orange like that. One side is highly sweet, the other one is very, very sweet like a tangerine. That one was done with stem grafting. Then this one is beautiful. This one is sweet as well. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay, let's go. Another one, the shape of leaves. Shape of leaf. Fruits or seeds. And please, when you're asked to list like this, be it that of plant and be it that of animal, and you want to say color, and they ask you to list about 4, 5, and you started with color of hair, color of eye, color of skin, You've only answered, give you one answer. Because the major thing we need there is color. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I am coming down now to the shape of leaf, shape of fruit, shape of flower, shape of seed. You've only said one thing, and that is what? Shape. So take note of that. Even if you want to say shape of leaf, please don't take the shape of seed as your number 2. Shape of as number 3. That is just one answer. Shape is shape. Is that clear? Okay? Another thing is leaf texture. Leaf texture. T-E-X-T-U-R-E. Leaf texture. Then another one is lifespan. 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 Or habit of growth. Another one is color. The color of leaf, color of flower, color of fruit and seed. And the next one, resistance. Resistance to environmental factors. Resistance to environmental factors. So let's look at how characters get transmitted and behave from generation to generation. How characters get transmitted and behave from generation to generation. So I want to actually look at what Mendel did. We have seen characters that can be transmitted from generation to generation, or from parents to offspring, both in plants and animal. But how are these characters actually got transmitted from generation to generation? We've already known that characters that can be transmitted are only characters controlled by gene. Did I say something now?
Yes.
That is the only characters that can be transmitted from parents to offspring, that are only transmitted from, carried by genes. And in other words, inherited characters are being determined by the gene. They are being determined by the gene. Now when we come to a diploid organism, they have 2 sets of homologous chromosomes. I hope you know that. We mentioned homologous chromosomes. They have 2 sets of homologous chromosomes. Two sets of homologous chromosomes. This is homologous chromosomes. This is homologous chromosomes. 2 sets of homologous chromosomes. So, and each of these homologous chromosomes, by the time we can have them split into 2 to give us what we call the sister chromatid. And each copy of the 2 of each gene can also be carried from parent to offspring. And remember we said it has to do with the 2. Now we have the gametes combinations where you have 2 of these and you have 2 of these. So let's assume this is from parents. Each has 2. Each has 2. And each of them is called homologous, like a copy. Now having a pair of individuals, I have a pair, you have a pair. If you are coming to that homologous chromosome where each of them is paired, I have 23 pairs. Apostle Paul have 23 pairs, isn't it? Making a total number of what? 46. Now, how then do we get ourselves? Apostle Paul, within this period, I am your wife. You are my husband. Madam. So make sure you don't miss any of this class. Because we want to know how Mendel carries out this experiment, what he did. That shows, remember we said, it's only characters that are controlled by the gene can be inherited. And these genes are being found in the gametes. Did I say something now?
Yes.
And each gametes are in what? The chromosomes there are in pairs. So we look at, and most of the thing goes, bringing the combinations, combination of genes by the process of sexual reproduction with the hope of meiosis. So I think we'll continue from there. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Please, I beg you to go and read this. So by the time we start talking about it, we'll understand it. Every one of us will participate well. It's one thing when it comes to why, when they bring questions on genetics, we just want to explain to understand it. When they start talking about the first filial and the second filial generation, by the time you look at the question, it might be just one. And it will carry 16 marks. All those crossings, we'll get to that place. I always encourage students, if you have learned to understand it, make sure you answer that question. It can be one with just 20 marks. And it is not difficult to understand or to follow. You just follow the rules and read the questions very well. By the time we look at some useful terms in genetics, the words will be coming across from time to time. We'll be able to understand it. So that when you see question on this in WIAD, please run to answer it. Because to me, I call it beautiful 20 marks dash or 16 marks dash. Is that clear? Is that clear? So we'll do that next week. Any questions so far? Any question? Any question?
No.
God bless you.
Thank you very much,